The attack on a family by a biker gang, all caught on tape, was shocking. The latest development on the investigation coming up. But first, retired NYPD detective Pat Brosnan took me out on his bike. Take a look. We're here on the West Side Highway going north in the approximate vicinity of where Leon was in his Range Rover at the time of the initial accident with Cruz, where Cruz was in front of him on the motorcycle. It's at an approximate location like this that apparently the other bikers got off and started slashing his tires and trying to get into the Range Rover. Leon made the decision to take off with his family, running over at least 3 bikes and certainly the one individual who is hospitalized. We're now going to get on our bikes. I'm with former NYPD detective Pat Brosnan. We're going to retrace his steps from approximately 116th Street to 178th, which was the chase that ensued after Leon tried to take off with his wife and 2-year-old in the Range Rover.
We talk about lawlessness. They act like they're controlling the entire highway, and they take all 3 lanes. You know, traditional motorcyclists, you take 1 lane, center, middle, or right lane, and vehicular traffic continues. They wanted to dominate here, and what appears to have happened is that Mr. Lean somehow got into their group, unbeknownst to him, and that's where the friction started. And here's what the guy did. I'm going to demonstrate right here. And now he hits the brakes.
And looked back.
Right.
He actually looked back, but he had to stop.
Right, because they were going slow because initially they were taunting other vehicles. So they were probably going in a 50 or 60 range. But when the Range Rover took off and fled for his life with his little 2-year-old, then they were picking up. So I would say it's about a 6 to 9 minute ride.
So it's at approximately this spot where the motorcycles stop him again. What happened?
Exactly right. This was the second chapter of this nightmare. Right here, getting onto the entrance of the GW, the bike swarmed him again. Yeah. Jumped off the bikes, a couple of guys, and one of them actually was able to tear open the door of his Range Rover.
So they had him stopped again?
They had him stopped because they closed in front of him. They swarmed in front of him, they grabbed his door, pulled the door, tried to grab him out, and then he took off with his door open, as the tape demonstrates.
All right, so he takes off again. Let's retrace those steps. Okay. So we're here on 178th Street, about 4 blocks from the West Side Highway going north. Leon in the Range Rover came to a stop here. Whether it was because of a red light or the fact that all of his tires have been slashed, it's at this point where he is pulled out of the Range Rover and assaulted. Pat, here with former New York City detective in my ride today, who can tell us about what happened at this point.
Yeah, what happened at this point, obviously, was that we're 4 blocks from the West Side Highway. The tires were slashed. He's running flat. He couldn't go no further. He's got the 2-year-old and the wife in the vehicle. The guys get off their bikes. Again, they're swarming, but this time he can't take off, unlike at the GW, where he was able to take off.
You know what's interesting is, even as we're here today, this is a residential area. There are a lot of people here. If this poor guy is trying to get through, I mean, he could kill people. I mean, there are a lot of people walking around.
And the reality is you can never outrun bikes.
Right.
They're always going to catch the car.
Right.
They finally have him cornered here. He's trapped. Guy takes a helmet just like this, a full-face helmet.
And I got to tell you, that is heavy. I'm here to attest that it was heavy. Yes.
Takes a helmet just like this, and you can see almost like a sledgehammer. 2 guys. They break the driver's side window and the window immediately behind the driver's side rear, and then they dragged them out and then they assaulted them.
Up next, Pat joins me here in studio. Were there undercover cops in the motorcycle gang?